Have you ever caught your dog doing something a little awkward? Maybe they suddenly freeze mid-walk. Maybe they stare at you while doing their business. Or maybe they scoot, spin, or sniff in a way that makes you think, what on earth are you doing? It feels random, strange, sometimes even embarrassing. But here's the truth most dog owners don't realize. That awkward behavior, it's not random at all. It's communication. And once you understand what your dog is really saying, you'll never look at those moments the same way again. Let's start with one of the most common awkward behaviors, the intense stare. You're just sitting there, and your dog locks eyes with you. No blinking, no movement, just staring. At first it feels weird, almost uncomfortable. But in your dog's world, this isn't awkward, it's powerful. Eye contact for dogs is a big deal. In the wild, direct staring can be a threat. So when your dog chooses to look into your eyes calmly, they're doing something vulnerable. They're saying, I trust you. In fact, studies show that when dogs and humans hold eye contact, both release oxytocin, the same bonding hormone seen between parents and babies. So that awkward stare, it's actually one of the deepest forms of connection your dog can offer. Now let's talk about something even more awkward. When your dog follows you everywhere. Bathroom? They're there. Kitchen? Right behind you. Bedroom? Already waiting. It can feel clingy, even annoying. But this behavior has roots in survival. Dogs are pack animals, and to them, you are the pack leader. Staying close to you means safety. But there's another layer. Some dogs follow not just out of loyalty, but out of uncertainty. They're trying to predict your movements, trying not to be left behind. So when your dog shadows your every step, they might be saying, I feel safe with you, but I'm not sure what happens without you. That's not awkward. That's emotional dependence. Now here's one that confuses a lot of people. The sudden zoomies. Your dog is calm 1 second, and the next, they're sprinting across the house like a maniac, sliding, spinning, crashing into furniture. It looks chaotic, almost out of control. But zoomies, also known as fraps, frenetic random activity periods, are completely natural. They're your dog's way of releasing built-up energy. Think of it like emotional overflow. After a bath, after being confined, or even after a stressful moment, that energy has to go somewhere. So it explodes. And while it may look awkward to you, for your dog, it's relief. It's their way of resetting their body and mind. Now let's get into one of the most misunderstood behaviors. The butt scoot. Yes, it's awkward. Yes, it looks ridiculous. But it's not just a random habit. When your dog drags their rear across the floor, they're trying to tell you something is wrong. Most commonly, it's irritation. It could be full anal glands, allergies, or even parasites. This is one of those moments where awkward behavior is actually a signal you shouldn't ignore. Your dog can't say, I'm uncomfortable. So they show you. And the way they show you just happens to look a little strange. Now here's something subtle, but important. The slow spin before lying down. You've seen it. Your dog circles. Once, twice, sometimes 3 times. Before finally settling. It feels unnecessary. But this behavior goes back thousands of years. In the wild, dogs would circle to flatten grass, check for danger, and position themselves safely. Even though your dog has a soft bed now, that instinct hasn't disappeared. So that little spin? It's ancient survival behavior. Playing out in your living room. Let's talk about something that makes a lot of owners uncomfortable. When your dog watches you while pooping, it feels awkward, almost invasive. But from your dog's perspective, this is a vulnerable moment. When dogs relieve themselves, they're exposed. In the wild, this is when they're most at risk. So when your dog looks at you during this moment, they're not being weird. They're checking in. They're asking, are you watching my back? And when you stay there, calm and present, you're answering, yes, you're safe. Now here's a behavior that often gets misunderstood, the random sniffing, especially in awkward places. Your dog might sniff guests, other dogs, or even you in ways that feel inappropriate. But dogs experience the world through scent. What looks awkward to you is actually information gathering. Dogs have up to 300 million scent receptors. Humans? Only about 6 million. So when your dog sniffs something intensely, they're not being rude. They're reading a story. Your mood, your health, your identity. All of it. Through smell. Now let's talk about something small. but meaningful. The head tilt. You say something, and your dog tilts their head to the side. It's cute, a little awkward, almost cartoon-like, but it serves a purpose. Dogs tilt their heads to better hear and process sounds. It may also help them read your facial expressions more clearly. So when your dog does this, they're not confused. They're focused. They're trying to understand you. Now here's one that surprises people. When your dog brings you random objects, a sock, a toy, sometimes even trash, it feels pointless. But this is a form of offering. In the wild, sharing resources strengthens bonds. So when your dog brings you something, they're saying, "This matters to me." So it matters to you, even if it's just an old shoe. Now let's address a behavior that many people misread: the sudden freeze. Your dog stops moving, ears alert, body stiff. It feels awkward because it's unexpected. But this is intense focus. Your dog has detected something, a sound, a movement, a scent, that you probably missed. This is their instinct kicking in. Not fear, not confusion, awareness. And finally, the deep sigh. Your dog lies down, lets out a long, heavy sigh, and relaxes. It almost feels human. And in a way, it is. This is contentment, a signal that your dog feels safe enough to fully relax. No tension, no alertness, just peace. So what do all these awkward behaviors have in common? They're not mistakes. They're messages. Your dog isn't trying to be weird. They're trying to communicate in the only language they know, a language built on instinct, emotion, and survival. And here's where everything changes. When you stop seeing these behaviors as awkward and start seeing them as signals, you become a better dog owner. You respond instead of react. You understand instead of judge. And most importantly, you build trust. Because at the end of the day, your dog isn't asking you to be perfect. They're asking you to notice, to pay attention, to understand the small things that most people ignore. Because in those small, awkward moments, that's where the real connection lives. So next time your dog does something strange, don't laugh it off. Don't ignore it. Watch closely, because your dog might be telling you something important. And once you learn to listen, you'll realize it was never awkward at all. Before you go, think about this for a second. What if the next awkward thing your dog does is actually the most important message they've ever tried to send you? Because now you know. It's never random. That stare, that follow, that sudden burst of energy, it all means something. And the more you notice these small behaviors, the more you start to understand your dog on a deeper level. Most people miss these signs completely. They laugh, ignore, or misunderstand them. But you're different now. You're starting to see what others don't. And trust me, once you begin to understand your dog like this, your bond changes forever. So next time your dog does something that feels weird, don't scroll past it in your mind. Pause, watch, think, because that moment might be your dog trying to say something important. And if you want to keep learning these hidden signals, the ones most dog owners never notice, make sure you subscribe to the channel, because every video here is designed to help you understand your dog better, build a stronger connection, and avoid the small mistakes that quietly damage trust. Also, if this video made you see your dog differently, go ahead and like the video. It really helps. And I'm curious, what's the weirdest thing your dog does that you never understood before? Drop it in the comments. I read them all. And you might even inspire the next video. And don't forget to turn on the bell icon so you never miss what your dog is trying to tell you next.